everybody. Oh, this is it already. So this is a meeting about something that already is happening. So there's no need to listen. There's no need to be here. But when there's being here, then that's what's happening. So it seems that there's a choice that you think, oh, I want to go there and I want to do this or I want to do that. The funny thing is, there's already no one. There is no one. It seems like there's a body, a real solid body, and there's someone inside. And we have a lot of thoughts and thinking like it's my thoughts, and with my thoughts I can choose or make decisions or go anywhere. The funny thing is also that it's just happening by itself. There's no one doing anything. It's just happening or not happening. There's no one choosing. And it's not about you don't have to choose. It's about there's no one. There is already no one. And everything is also apparent. So there's no real world. There's even no real body. That's a very difficult one, because then the body is seen so real, and there seems to be feelings and maybe pain or sensations. And it's always seen like there's someone feeling that. So it's my pain or my feelings. They're just feelings. There's just pain. And it's just happening in space for no one. So this is a very, very weird message, because there's not only saying there is no one, there's also saying nothing really happens. There's only an apparent world. So nothing is real, nothing is solid. And when you're feeling the table or feeling pain or touching something, it always seems like this is solid. And when there's a feeling of there's touching a table, for example, it's just a sensation is felt. And because we're so convinced that everything is solid, so the sensation feels like, oh, the table is solid. But really, there's only a sensation somewhere. So you don't know. This is a message about not knowing. And not knowing in the world is seen as not good. We don't want not knowing. We want to know. We want to know everything, because when there's a knowing, there seems to be a control, and there seems to be more security or feeling safe. And in this world of dual things, like me is there and another person is there and there are events happening to me, then that seems to be threatening, and there's always something going on, like I have to make my life work. I'm responsible, I have a family, I have to make money, I have to have a job or anything. Oh, I already forgot what I was going to say. There is just this, there's just this. There's nothing else. There's no before, there's no after. And that's also strange, because we're so used to time. And when there's time, there's not only a past, because some people are into there's no past, there's no future. That's all right, that's just clear. But when there's no time, there's also no before and no after. So there's no consequences. There's no responsibility. There's just what is. And that's maybe waving or touching or feeling a street. It's very literally, very, very simple, without any reason, without any meaning. It just is. And also we are very used to give meaning to everything. So when there's something happening, there's a lot of thoughts going on, like, oh, this is happening to me. That's the first. And then it's happening to me, and what was it going all right or was it wrong? So maybe there's a good feeling, then it feels like it's going all right. And there's a feeling like anger or stress, then it feels like, oh, it's not all right and I have to do something about that. So it's always about there's something not right, and it has to make We have to make it right. And this message is saying there's nothing right, there's nothing wrong, it just is. And that's strange, because when there's someone, there's always something going on about, maybe not the words right or wrong, because then the me is more, when there's a lot of people going to these meetings or spirituality meetings, then good and bad are already seen as, no, there's no good and bad, but there can be a change, or we can make a change, or we can look at ourselves and do something with that, but not because it's wrong, but not just because it's just nice to do, or there are a lot of words going on about that. But in the first place, it's always about changing, wanting to change, wanting to be something different, wanting to have something different, or maybe also something more than what you have now. So there's some dissatisfaction, there's something going on like, this is not already it. It can't be it, because I'm feeling, whoa, there's a lot of noise. I'm feeling not right, or I'm not feeling free, or I'm not feeling there's no me, or there's always something going on, like there's something missing. And when there's talking about this in these meetings about there's no one, then there's a new goal, like wanting to feel or to have no me anymore. It's an endless game, and it's always the same game. It's always the same, like wanting something that you don't have, or wanting something else, because you can't hear, and that's something it's not wrong, but it's not possible to hear that everything is it already. Maybe it's heard in a certain way and can be clear, but somewhere there's something going on, like there's a restlessness maybe, or something going on like frustration, or it's not even always noticed, because there's something, you want to show that you're clear in this message, because there's still wanting to be seen, there's still something going on. And it can be very subtle. So they can be talking about this with very clear words and very, very much clarity. And still it's the same going on, like there's wanting to show that you're very clear. In this message, there's no agenda. There's nothing going on. Nothing is important. It's not saying the whole day, oh, it's not important, because that's something else. There can be losing a game, and there can be, oh, I want to win, and then it's gone. It's very normal behavior. It can be anger, it can be irritation, it can be in the game, playing very hard, wanting to win, and then it's gone. It can be anything. Nothing is wrong. Nothing is right. So there is no special thing about there's no one, or maybe they're thinking Roes is already feeling no me anymore, something like that. It's not like that. There's no Roes, but there's also no other people. Yeah, there can be seen bodies, but there's already nowhere being someone in it. So trying to feel no me, or trying to reach that, it's endless. It can't be reached, because it's already not there. It's just, everything is just empty. It's just only what is, very literally. And you don't have to name it. You don't have to see it. You don't have to feel or being clear. That what is happening, maybe a lot of questions, or maybe a lot of thoughts, or anything. That's it. That's already what's happening. It's very, very simple, and it's going nowhere. So this meeting is also going nowhere. It can be nice to speak to each other, and it can be frustrating, and it can be joyful. It can be anything, but it's going nowhere. There's nothing to reach. There's no goal. So this is already it. Life is just everything. It's the unconditional love, and the unconditional love is not a personal love like we know with some feelings for people. It's just unconditional. So it's everything. Nothing is excluded. It's just everything. That's it. You don't have to hear it. You don't have to believe it. You don't have to accept it. That's the joy. It's already what's going on. That's it. So if you want to say something about this or ask something or share, please do. And we'll see what's happening.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, William.
I wasn't sure if I should put my hand up or just unmute myself.
Emerson, what do you Emerson is the host.
Please go ahead, William.
Okay.
Sorry, Emerson. So basically, Rose, with this message, it really seems like as the sort of contraction seems to be loosening up, a lot of the neurosis and anxiety in that is falling away, and recently it's been reducing massively. And I know this message isn't a therapy, because that's what some speakers always tell me, like, you try and treat this as a therapy, but it feels like this is of so much benefit to me. But the problem is, I know conceptually that if liberation did happen, I wouldn't be here getting the freedom. And that's the frustrating thing, is that I want to have the freedom.
But you want to have the freedom. But what is freedom for? What is that? It's something. Freedom seems to be something, some feeling or some sensation somewhere or something. The freedom is that it's everything. So it's not a state or something like that. It's freedom. The freedom is that it's already everything. So we are so always into the story of there's someone in a body, and that body can be more relaxed, or there's something going on there. That's the normal thing. That's what we used to. That's what we know. So we look at when there's something happening, we think, oh, that's more relaxed than before. That's nice, but it's something else. It doesn't matter if it's losing. It's more relaxed or it's more stressful. It's just energetic. So then that's happening. It's not for William that there's something going on. William is not important. It's just that we think we are a person with a body and maybe a past or things like that. There is no one. There's not only no one, there's also no William. There's just the face and the body, or maybe there's just seen. You think there's Roes, but there's just that face and a part of that body. That's it. That's what you see. That's it. There's no Roes. There's nothing going on about. There can be stress or less stress in the body, but so what? Then there's always a comparing to something. You remember that was there, and when it's better, that's always the case. Normally, I know there's normally that you feel like, oh, it's going. That's gone better. There's less stress now, so maybe something going on like that. That's so strong. That can be so strong, but there's nothing really happening. That's just a story. It's just maybe there's a sensation somewhere. There's no yesterday. There's no before. There's just talking, maybe. That's everything. That's it. Nothing more than that. So it's already there. When it's talking, well, that's already happening. So finish.
It's great what you said about what you said, freedom's not a state. So I've objectified freedom as when I feel a certain way, or when I'm more, like you said, like when I'm more relaxed. When you initially, freedom, what is that? I thought, actually, I don't know what freedom is, but I've turned freedom into an object that I know.
Sure. That's what we do. That's that's so quickly done that it's not even noticed. Of course, that's how we do it. How the brain, and it's abstracting something, making it into something. And then you think, I don't have that. I don't feel that. Yeah. That's it. That's the dream.
Yeah, and then it becomes a goal. I can get more freedom, or I'm heading towards freedom.
It's so funny because it's something you don't know, and then you make something of it, and you think, oh, I don't have that. It's just a story, but it's so convincing. That's so strange. Yeah,
because when you said there's just this conversation,
yeah.
I was thinking, no, but there is a yesterday, and it's impossible for me to think there wasn't really a yesterday. I can't. Yeah.
You don't have to think that. You don't have to feel that or that thing. When there's a thought like, oh, I can't feel that, or here there's not a yesterday, then that's what's happening. So what? Because then otherwise it's the same game. It's like, oh, I don't have yet that there's no yesterday. Oh, still that's there, still there. So I'm gonna look for that. No, then it turns into something. There's just a thought. There's still something going on like there's been yesterday. Then that's what's happening. So
it's so funny actually, because when you say, so if there's a thought that there's a yesterday, that's what's happening. So what? I'm still thinking, well, where Rose is at, she only sees this, whereas where I'm at, I see this other stuff. So I've got to get towards where and I know conceptually this isn't about attaining a state, but it still feels like we're in two different places.
Yeah.
And I want to be where you
yeah, sure. Yeah, that's the game me plays in, you could say, in the story. Because me is the thinking there's something not right yet. That's part of that whole thinking of that survival mechanism. And that's the only thing that's dropped, or it's not really dropping, but what's not coming anymore, it's that there is a need to change something. It's not about something going on, that it has nothing to do with the story or the thoughts or anything. There's just that simple not coming up. There has to change it, or some things about that. But it's so normal that it's not even seen like there's something happening. It's not different. It's just different, but that's it. But me is always thinking there's something I don't have yet. That's the me thing. And when that's there, then that's there. Can be frustrating, of course. But it's energetic. That's the energetic part. Yeah. But it doesn't matter. But for me, it matters. Of course, I can hear that. Well, in fact, so what? Then there's a lot of thoughts. Yeah. Well, for me, it's like, oh, yeah.
I couldn't imagine, because Emerson said to me before, like, some of the people who come to these online retreats don't have a sense of, or their sense of self isn't there, but they're just like listening to this. And I couldn't imagine sitting in this meeting without thinking there's something I need to get. But obviously, like you said, that's what the me does wherever it is. There's somewhere still to get. And I couldn't imagine, well, I suppose it's on a ball, so I can't imagine it. Just being in any situation, whether it's at this meeting or anywhere else, without that sense that I need something from this.
Yeah, but some people it's stronger, and some people, I don't know, it's different. It can be so different. So it doesn't mean when somebody is not saying anything, then there's already no me. It's, you don't know. I don't know. It's just different.
Okay, thanks, Rose.
Bye. Okay, thank you.
Go ahead, Marianne.
Hi, Rose. Nice to
Hello.
see you.
Hi.
One thing I wanted to ask, when you say that's the energetic part of me, the me that always wants something else, is always looking for something else. When you say that's the energetic part, are you talking about, are you just giving a word to it, or are you literally talking about something energetic, a feeling, something like that? Thank you.
It's not part of the me. It's everything. In fact, everything is just energetic. So we think we are there, and we are having control, and we are doing things, and we are deciding things. But everything is just energetic. So it just happens or not happens, not for a reason. That's also filled in by me, that it's because of that, and the meaning is put on top of it because it seems like, oh, that's the meaning of it. It just is, and what that energetic, when there's nothing going on about there's something trying to change it. It's just talking in the story, maybe trying to explaining that there's just energetic, it's just energetic, an energetic happening, no me. It's not being clear. There's just about lost. There's something lost. Not really, because there's nothing to lose. And in the same time, it is that it's the paradox. It's at the same time it's talking in the story, saying there's something lost, and this is about loss, and talking about there's just this, there's nothing happening. So that's why it can't be understood, because we are so used to only talking in the story, and then they're saying, no, this is an energetic happening when there's no one. There's just not coming up. What I explained is it's not coming anymore. Like there's something is not good enough, or something has to change, or something about that. It's just not there. I don't know why, it just isn't there. And that's energetic. It's not by something or by any event or because of anything. It's energetic. But everything what's happening is just an energetic, it's just energy, energetic. It's difficult to explain. But it's there's no one doing it. That's the most strong message, the thing of this message. There's no one inside. There's no one deciding it. There's no one controlling it. It's already no one. But it seems like there is someone trying to find or trying to do.
Thank you.
There's a couple of questions here. Can you talk about why what is not being talked about, not everything, is consciousness or awareness being aware? What's the difference? Let me repeat that. Can you talk about why what is being talked about, not everything, is consciousness or awareness being aware? What's the difference?
It's already a difficult question. There can be awareness, but that's part of the me. That's looking at yourself, and that's the part of that. There's two, that looking at things, and there seems to be thoughts and doing. When there's no me, there's no awareness. There's just what's happening. There's nothing going on about why do I do this, or maybe there can be a thought like that, but then it's gone. What can I say about that? It's just there's no awareness. There's no need for awareness also. That's also strange, because we are so convinced that without awareness there can't be life happening. It just happens for no one already. So the me is just an added thing that the abstract mind can make and things, that it's very important, and without a me, life wouldn't be like that. It doesn't matter if there's a thinking, there's a me or there's not. It's the same thing. It's just something extra with it, but that's it. It's a dream.
Thank you so much. There's a question here from Biddy. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Sorry. Did you want to ask the question yourself, or I'll read it? Is it not about understanding, but what do you mean when you say it's energetic?
Yeah, it's not about understanding at all. So that's strange, because we're so into understanding and trying to, know. This is, there's no need to understand. There's just what's happening, and you don't know why, but we are so used that we have to know how it works, and then we can more control our lives, or maybe you feel more safe or more happy or have more money or things like that. There's just what's happening. So that's what is. So understanding, there's just waving a hand. What about understanding that? That's just waving the hand, or a tree. There's a tree happening or something. You don't need to understand that. There's no need. But in the world of me, understanding and knowing is one of the most important things. That helps to control, and it seems like control makes your life more comfortable or more easy or more relaxed. There are a lot of things going on about what to do, how to behave, what to do with your health, what to do with it's endless. It has nothing to do with that. We're not in control. There's never been control. But you don't need control. It's just what's happening. So, and there's no one. So there's no need to take care. Taking care can happen or not. Maybe it's not happening. Then that's what's happening. There's also no guilt or consequences then. That's huge, because everything in life, in the me world, in the dream of me, is about consequences and responsibility and guilt and doing wrong or right. It's the dream. It's a dream, but which can very much be very intense and complicated and important. It's just a dream.
Beautiful. There's another question here. I know that there's a preference not to talk about stories, but I heard in an interview you did about going to Tony's meetings. Can you share a story of Roes as a seeker?
There are a lot of stories. They can be talking in stories. It doesn't matter. Everybody can talk in stories. That when there's a question about a story, then there's a question about a story. Please do. That's not wrong or strange. That's an awful thinking. That's something about behaving. That I know that in these kind of meetings, there's a kind of there can be a certain behavior that, it's talking about there's no one. I'm so involved with I'm in love with someone and I can't say that here, or I feel very emotional. Now, a lot of those meetings are not about emotional states. So, oh no, I won't show that. Or there can be a lot of things about that. If that is happening, if that's the question, or is that there's going on something about it, and there's a lot of wanting to say something about it, wanting to have a solution or thing, please do. Why not? It's not why. When I was going to Tony, I felt always that there were a lot of people, and then suddenly I felt like it's like raising a question. You feel it. I did that. You feel it coming, like, oh God, there's coming a question. I don't like to have a question, because there's so many people, and it can be embarrassing, because that's maybe everybody is laughing about my question or things like that, or what my story is. So I felt very embarrassed to ask questions there. And then just it was so strong. I couldn't stop. So that happened. I don't know what questions it was, but it was always like that. So that can happen also in these meetings. There seems to be a certain behavior, a certain way of how you have to put your question. You can't use the word me, for example, or something like that. When there's also in these kind of meetings, there are coming new ways of talking, new ways of showing yourself. That's the same as in spiritual meetings. It's always the same thing. Trying to show yourself that you're very far, trying to not to be embarrassed. It's the same story, of course. So, but the funny thing is, and I always say funny, I hear myself say, it's just, maybe then there's embarrassment. That can happen. But yeah, then there's that feeling. And there's nothing wrong. It's not only saying, that's what in these meetings also can be. There's not only saying there's nothing wrong or there's nothing right, because that's just a clarity. But it's just very obvious. Of course, there's nothing wrong. It's just everything. It's so obvious. And it's maybe something there that they're trying to behave in a certain way. When the me is not there, it's just in that talking in that story, then that trying to behave is not there anymore. And that doesn't mean that there are certain ways of behaving that can be a pattern, or maybe that can happen, or saying the same words again and again, or I don't know. Roes is not saying the right things about non-duality. It's just coming. Maybe somebody else is saying it more clear, or anything else, or not. I don't know. I don't care. It's just what's said. It's just what's coming, and that's everywhere. So then, what's saying by somebody else? That's it. Of course, it can't be wrong. So please say anything. No, not everything. Maybe not hurting me. No, it's a joke. It can happen. It can be being angry because you think, oh, what you're saying is raw. Then that's what's happening. It can be like that. I don't know. That's the not knowing part. That you don't know, so it's not safe. This is not about being safe or being in control. It's just free fall. How can Tony say that? It's free fall. It's just what happens. You don't know. Oh, that can be frightening also. A lot of people don't like it because it's not about being clear. So this is more frightening and threatening and not knowing. That's what life is. It's just that. It can be anything. It can be feelings, can be trembling, can be feeling depressed, maybe, I don't know, maybe feel low energy. It's just what's happening. No one is doing that. And it seems like it's you, but it's just that seemingly person sitting on the couch eating candy. That's what's happening. It's everything.
Brilliant. Thank you. Anita, please go ahead and unmute yourself.
Yes, beautiful. First, I want to say I'm very happy that I met you in the meetings of Tony.
Mm.
I'm really touched by your words.
Mm. Thanks. Mm. Yeah.
Yeah, I recognize myself in the you don't have to be embarrassed. So the story is my relationship broke up half of June, and I still have a lot of times a feeling I want to be with him together. Yes.
Yeah, can be there. Can be thoughts like that. Can be feeling sadness or trying to get away or anything. There can be a lot of thoughts like that. That's just what's happening. And suddenly, maybe for a day, it's not there, and then you think, oh, and then it's going on again. Yeah. You don't know how it goes. That's just that energetic thing. That's maybe sometimes there are a lot of thoughts about some events, and suddenly there's some gap in between, and then suddenly it goes on, or it's not there anymore. Yeah. There's no, and we think, oh, what's the best way to deal with that? There's no way to deal. It's just that's happening. There are a lot of thoughts and feelings maybe, and sometimes they're not. And then there's drinking coffee. More important than something else, because then a lot of stories are about feeling in a certain way, and that feeling of how you feel is very important. And then drinking coffee, I drink coffee, but what I feel about this, that's seems to me the most important part of that day or about your life. And all those other moments, all just drinking coffee or just walking or just, it seemed like, yeah, that's nothing. That's not. It's the same. It's just what's happening. So there's nothing more important than anything else. But when there's certain feelings or certain events, it seems like the most important, because that's why we feel bad, or what can we do. And it's like concentrated in a certain event or certain, and the whole, and then it's just everything. So it's feeling sad, and then there's drinking tea, or just sitting and staring, or I don't know, seeing a dog. Yeah. Yeah, it's everything.
Yeah, that's how it goes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's it.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Anita. I have a question here first, and then I'll get to you, William. Trisha asks, did you want to ask this question yourself, Trisha, or did you want me to read it? I'll read it.
I'll ask. I was just rewriting it, actually. Hi there.
Hi.
So it was about when we wake up in the morning, is it really that we're not waking up, we're just coming into another dream, but we don't realize? So it's like being in a dream when we're awake, like the analogy of a dream.
There's very quickly, there's all the whole story is coming back. So it seems like you live you're walking up in your room, and your room is in a certain city, and there's someone with you, or there's not the whole thing, what do I have to do, or things like that. That's the whole dream is coming. There's just that, and the funny thing is, it's just that what's happening. So there's just seeing maybe a wall, maybe thoughts are happening. Is that an answer on your question? Maybe you did ask something else.
I'm not sure. It's difficult for me to absorb what you were saying. I'll sit with it, and if something else comes again, I'll ask.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tricia. Go ahead, William.
Hi, Rose.
Hi.
So in this message, it said that there's nothing wrong.
Mm.
And if I don't like something, I think that's wrong and it shouldn't be happening.
Mm.
And I can't get the difference between that and just there being not liking something.
Yeah, but when there's not liking it, there immediately comes the thought that it should change. You can think that, but I don't know if it's changing then. Maybe not. Most of the time, it doesn't change. When you're sitting in a there was somebody was talking about, there was a lot of traffic, and then he was stuck in the traffic, and he was like, "Oh, I don't like it. Oh, that's what I said before. I don't want to be stuck in that traffic." And yeah, you can say that, but it's just it's just there. So we think we can change everything. We have to change everything so you feel good. It's about feeling good all the time. There can be a not liking it sometimes. Yeah, of course. That's it.
So when there's not...
No, it can be not wanting it. I don't want that. Of course. But that's it.
So obviously when there's a sense of a me, and then there's not like something, there's a sense that this really shouldn't be happening, this is really wrong. When the sense of the me collapses, apparently, there could still be not liking something or not being happy about something, but is that whole energy of this isn't allowed, this shouldn't be happening, does that all go as well?
Yeah, it's such a dream. There can be thoughts about that. It doesn't happen here, so no, not so much. But it can be thought like that, but it's a dream. It's very obvious. It's just, that's wrong. That's wrong. It's just saying something about something that just is happening. Yeah. And so it's wrong. We are so into this is wrong. It shouldn't be happening. It's not fair. It's a lot of things like that. And then there's something going on. What can I do? Or some people are just staying in that and being a victim and talking about that all the time. Yeah, it's a dream.
Yeah, I think, well, my assumption is, I suppose, because the me sees everything as really happening and being experienced by it. So, like you said about feeling like a victim, like these are real circumstances that are happening to me and I'm affected by them and I don't feel good because, and if only things would change. But I'm assuming when the sense of there being someone experiencing things drops, then there's nothing happening to someone, so it wouldn't be like as a big deal.
No, it can be, it's not, there's nothing going on about there's something wrong or it should change, but it can be not nice, or think like, oh, you did decide that. Oh, no, I don't like that. It can be like that. Yeah, of course, it's very normal. It's not all the time, oh, it's okay, yeah, there's nothing going on. Oh, it's just, no. There can be anything. It's just, no, and it can be irritation or, it's just normal. The only thing is there's nothing trying to change that. Also, there can also be a reaction like, shit, or something like that. Then,
yeah, what you were saying there about the me trying to accept everything and being like everything's fine. I guess that's the only option the me has, is if it feels uncomfortable and it can't change it, to try and detach from it. Because I do that, and I suppose a lot of people do, where it's like I just see that everything's fine as it is, and I don't have a reaction to it, or it can't really do anything else because it feels so affected by what's happening.
Me is the doer. So it can't hear that there's no doer, because that's all it knows. he's doing something. I have to do something with it. I don't like it, so there's and then there's something doing with it, maybe complaining or anything. It's just always about doing or not doing. And that's me. That's just the only way it can think about. So that's what goes on. And then suddenly that doesn't go. Yeah, I don't know how that happens. It just can. Then that's not there anymore. And it's so obvious that it's like, oh, what a strong, it's not only a belief, but it's so embodied that there's something to do. You can do something. There's a free will. Also, the word free will, most people already know in these meetings, oh, there's no free will. And free will is embodied. So that's so strong. There's something going on, but I don't like that. So what can I do? Oh, no, not doing. But what, that's so strong. That's the energetic part. That when that's embodied, it's going on. It's going on. And then suddenly it drops. It's just not going on. And we wait for that moment because we think, oh, that's what we have to do, because me thinks I have to wait. That's also doing. I have to wait till that moment. That's also doing. It can't hear that what's happening. All those thoughts, all those thinking like, oh, there's something wrong. That's just life. Life thoughting. Seems like very real. Okay. That can be frustrating.
Yeah, when you were saying that me's always got to do something because it feels like it's the doer, what came to my mind was it's like such a busy energy. It's always trying to occupy its attention with what needs my attention, what needs addressing, what needs sorting, what needs solving.
Yeah.
And when that whole thing collapses, well, I've heard it said from people like Tony and that then there's only what's apparently happening, but there's no need to be busy with all these things that need your attention. What should I be focusing on and that kind of thing?
Yeah, that's two different worlds. You can't say to somebody, don't focus. Then there's a focus on not focusing. So,
Focus on not focusing.
Yeah. It's not wrong. Because then it's always thinking, oh, there's something wrong. There's something, when there's that energy, then that's life. That's focusing. So then there's that. That's life happening. It's just it.
And that's why this is so different to spirituality, because with spirituality, there's always something to do. So even if you're being in the now, you're consciously, that's an activity.
Yeah. That's what me likes the most, because then it can do something with that. These meetings are also horrible because what can I do with that? I can't do anything with that. That's what people say or something like that. No, you don't have to. That's the joy. But that's too much, because there's something wrong. It's not only in the mind, it's just so deeply there's something not right. It's just not even said to yourself, but it's just normal.
Yeah. What kind of can frustrate me with this message sometimes is it doesn't provide any kind of direction. And I think me needs a direction, because it's, like I said before, when I spoke to you, it's trying to get somewhere, and everything else offers me a direction. Or if you do these things, you'll get to where I am. Whereas you're not saying there's anywhere to get to, and you're not saying there's anyone. So it's not feeding. It's not.
But that's what me likes. Then it can survive. Then it can go on. Because that's confirming that there's still something missing or something wrong. That's the whole dream, and that's most people are in that, of course. But can be like that.
It's just so taken to be the normal way. Like, it's unquestioned. Like, we probably, well, I know me and maybe other people who listen to this will now question that whole setup of trying to find something and seeking, and you know, like, I mean, I've clearly recognized, even though it's just intellectual, the seeking will never lead to any kind of real fulfillment. But for everyone else in the world, that's just so unquestioned. Like, I've got to try, I've got to do it, and I've got to find fulfillment.
Yeah, most people don't. But there are no most people. There's also no world. There's just this. So talking about all those people and the world, we can do, but it's a bit uninteresting. I'm not so interested. There's no world, so I don't see any other people in the world. It's just what's happening. It's much more simple. It's a lot of times talking about those things that feels safe and talk about that. It's also threatening to feel or to hear that this is going nowhere. There's no one. There's no hope. There's no hope. Hello, I'm feeling it's coming closer. So maybe in a day it will be just more relaxed and it's there. That's so strong. That can be so strong. Yeah. So this is about loss. We want to reach, not loss. That loss. You don't want. Nobody wants loss. I didn't want loss.
Thanks, Rose.
Thank you.
There's a question here from Kane. Can you ask about stillness and movement, please?
Stillness and movement.
And movement, yes. Did you want to add to that, Kane, or?
Stillness and movement. There can be movement, but what is just there's no time. So there's also no movement. There's only movement in the story. Because when there's a story, there seems to be time and we move. And when there's movement, just physical movement or something like that, then it's comparing to something else which stands still and then you seem to be moving. That's how it looks. There's no movement, there's just what is. So, yeah. So there's nothing happening, there's just what is. Walking, that's it. We're always into comparing, to compare to other people, to compare to something that stands there and we're walking, or compare to other teachers, or there are no other people or the teachers. There's just this. That's everything. It's very, very simple, very literally. We are so used to look at it and trying to grasp it or compare it, what is better, so we can do that. There's nothing better, there's just this. Walking, breath, trees.
There's another question here. Can you ask about timelessness? If there is no past, how come there are old pictures of me?
Yeah, that's with pictures. It's very complicated to believe that there's no time, because you think, that was me when I was 7 or things like that. Pictures just are in it's just that's the magic of the story. It's just a mystery. Everything's so confirming that there's a past and there's happening something, and we find something and we can measure it, and then it seems like thousands of years ago, and it's a photo, and then it proves that I was there when I was 6, and so it proves. is just a picture of a face, and there's a remembering of a memory of being a child. So together with that, it seems like there's confirming that's the past. It's just a picture. That's it. There's no time. But there are a lot of things confirming that there's time. So it's actually during the day, you could say, then there's the whole time, there's confirming there's someone, confirming there's time, because there are, it's about yesterday, and there's a remembering, and there's talking about it, and there's pictures, and there's movies, and nowadays when all those, everything is on the movie and screen, and it's with a video. So it's proving that there was something happening yesterday. It seems that way. It's just not proving anything. It's just a video of that phase of that body-mind. That's it. And all that other is just added by me, you could say, in the story, and proving there's somebody. It's like in a movie. When there's a movie, it always seems like it's a whole story, but it's not like that. And we are so filling in the gaps. So it seems like there's the past, and there's today, and there's my life. So it's very convincing.
There's a follow-up question here for that. If there is no past, can you ask about the future? You mean there's no tomorrow as well? Is that why there's no hope?
Well, of course there's no tomorrow. There's just this. So yeah, that's, you could say there's no hope. And because when there's hope, it seems like tomorrow or the day after, it will be better. There's just this. But it's not only there's no time, and because of that there's no hope. There's also no one. So there's no hope for someone to be better, because that's always what's the dream. There's something missing, there's something wrong, and I have to make it right, or I can make it right. Oh, that's a better one even. So that seems to be like that. It's also awful. It's always having to be better, to make it better, can make it better. Oh, I don't succeed. Oh, no, maybe I did something wrong. Maybe I have to go for it a little bit more. Oh, I did too much, maybe. Oh, maybe I have to do it a little bit, just concentrated. Oh, no, it didn't work. Oh, yes, it did work. Oh, now I'm knowing what to do. Oh, no. Oh, maybe I did something too much. Oh, maybe, oh, she did say that to me. Oh, she doesn't like me anymore. Oh, no, that's going on and all day. There's something so strong that you have to do it. But there's the hope that it will be better. That's awful, because that confirms that there's something missing, something wrong. It isn't. It's just this without meaning or anything. It's just this, very neutral. It's just this. It's not a very special message. You go on the street, you say, yeah, it's just the walking. People look at you like, yeah, sorry, yeah, thank you, I knew already. Of course, everybody knows. So this message is not new in that sense. Everybody knows in a way. But we are so into adding everything with that, in that dream and feeling or believing or embodied belief that there's someone. So there's something so much going on about that. But it's just this. It's just what's happening. That's it.
So there you go. There's no future William that will get this.
Oh.
Roes,
Yeah.
can you say the energetic part that has a lot to do with the feeling of something is missing?
No, everything is just energetic. And when there's an separation, then when the brain is can abstract, then there suddenly can be separation and seeing that I'm there and you are there and there's a world or there are people, other people. And then there's something somewhere, there's a feeling of missing or something is going wrong. So most of the time there can be a huge drive to make it right. But it's so underneath everything. Maybe it's not even seen like that, but it's underneath everything. It's something like that. Or in everything.
Yeah, thank you.
Question here. Can you ask Rose to expand on what is unconditional love?
What is unconditional love?
Expand on that. Yeah. Did you want to?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Unconditional love is just everything. Everything is unconditional love. So it can't be not it. It's that body. It's the way that's moving. It's a lamp. It's everything. And it's unconditional. So that's the part we don't know. We say when a mother has a child, it's unconditional love, but most of the time there are some conditions about behaving or this is right or wrong. So unconditional, it means it's everything, but it's not love. It's not a feeling. Love, that it's everything. So you can't feel it or know it. It's just everything. So nothing can be known or felt. It's not a state. It's just everything. And the strange thing is that there's, how can you say it? People say, how you know it's unconditional love, something like that. It's not about knowing it's unconditional love. It's just, you can't tell. There suddenly comes out and it's suddenly like, oh yeah, it's just unconditional love. It's just so obvious. It's just, and it doesn't mean that everything, and then people think, oh, it has to be like all day, no, it can be suddenly like, it can be very strong, but most of the time it's just very subtle. And it doesn't need to be felt, but it's not a feeling. It's not that why you say that now people can say, oh, I don't feel that, I don't see that, or something like that. It doesn't matter because it's already everything. It's everything. It's the thought, I don't get it. That's unconditional love. It's everything. So when there's someone, then it's already unconditional love. It can't be something else. And so everything is unconditional. Life is unconditional. It's just happening, just with no reason, just like that, not for anyone. So some people are, thank God, when they when they feel good about something, then they're thanking God. God is not very personal. Life is not personal. It just is. It has nothing to do with a me or a person. It's just happening. It's energy. It's everything already.
Go ahead, William.
Yeah, Rose, this is relating to the story before you apparently fell away. You said you were going to Tony meetings for a long time.
Mm.
And the question is, was there ever a point at which you thought, I want to stop listening to this message, but you couldn't stop yourself going back to it?
Yeah, sure, that was there. And I was not completely clear. I thought I was very clear in the message, but when I think about it now, what I remember, I didn't hear there was no me. I couldn't hear that. There was always something going on, like what is that? I felt like I have to feel it, or there was some tension. And most of the time I thought there's some tension, so there's still a me, or there's some urge to want to, so there's still a me, or trying to, most of the time, yeah. And sometimes there was such a relief in the muscles, but it felt like, oh, it's going right, it's coming closer. Oh yeah, I did that. It didn't come closer at all.
Well, it's the same way I think when I feel the relaxation. I'm like, yeah, I'm getting closer.
Yeah.
And then I try and remind myself that, the speakers of this message would say you can't get closer.
Yeah.
So I'm like, no, but you can't get closer. It's just what's happening.
Yeah, and that's always going on in the mind. Like you think you're saying something to yourself, and then, that then you remember somebody saying something about in this message, and think, oh no, you can't come closer. All those discussions where I remember now when you're saying that, oh yeah, I did that. All those discussions about, oh no, you can't come close. Oh no, there's no me. So how can you do that? It was going on like that too. Yeah, I remember now.
The thing is, I know obviously some other people have a massive fascination with this message, but I know I can't understand what it is that I'm resonating with about this. Like, I know I can't understand it, because there were times, like not so much recently, where I'd get up out of bed and I'd think, I'm never listening to this again. I'd walk down the stairs and call Tony or Jim. I think I'm going to go to the kitchen and make a tea, and on my way to the kitchen, I'd just pick my phone up and ring.
Yeah.
Like, what keeps pulling me back? Because I can feel I don't feel, but there is apparently a resonance with this, and I can't make sense out of what that resonance is. It's so beyond anything I could make a concept.
Yeah. That's it. No answer.
Thank you.
There's a question. Oh, Laura, please go ahead.
Hi.
Hello.
And so there was just this coming up when William and you were talking with each other, that there is something like a trust, like in a human being, where there's like energetically not an agenda happening anymore. And when you are somehow getting in touch with that human being, there's this inherent trust that this whole, let's say, story of manipulating, there is no one who wants something from a you here inside. and that can be so freeing in a way. So I can understand why, for example, William plans to not talk to, for example, Jim anymore. But like, this is quite trustworthy to converse with someone who is not someone anymore. Like, so this was coming up. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, that's freeing. Sure. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Can also be threatening.
Oh yes, yes. As I sense that. Yes. Yeah. I don't have more to say.
We laugh a bit.
I love your blouse or shirt. Actually, I like those colors. It's so.
It's
pretty.
a dress.
It's a dress.
Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you.
Yeah, looks lovely.
Question here. Can you ask Rose how she felt the first time encountering this communication?
What was the first time?
Can you ask Rose how she felt the first time encountering this communication?
Oh, yeah. I was in a meeting with Tony Parsons, and then it was the first time I met him. So it was a little group, and so I could sit in front also. I never liked that. So I sat in front, and then he was talking, and I didn't understand at all. I just couldn't make anything of that. And in the same time, there was a fear coming. There was so much fear coming. So but in a way, there was something else also. So I thought maybe I can go another time. So he came to Amsterdam another time, and I thought, oh, I will come there. But it was a bit like, and that same fear, or maybe not the same, but that fear came again. And then after that meeting, I nearly did make a phone call to him to say that he has to stop because it's too dangerous. I thought, this is dangerous. You can't say that. It's like revealing a secret. It has to be stopped. It is too much. In the same time, there was such a longing for that because somewhere I felt like, this is it. But there was such a fight going on. I didn't make the phone call. But whoa, it was so strong. And it was both sides, like really longing for something I couldn't understand. So it was like, oh, what is that longing? I can't even say what it was, but that fear was so strong. But I kept on going. It was strange. It's the same like what Emerson said. I didn't want to go, but I just did. Something was stronger. Yeah.
William?
Before, when Laura was saying about there's something inherent in the human, like trust when there's sense no agenda, and you said it could also be threatening when there's sense there's no agenda in someone else. Is that because you can't control and manipulate the other person if they don't have an agenda with you?
Maybe yeah, I don't know, but maybe that can be there. Yeah. There's no answer, so there's no control, so you can't get anywhere. Yeah. Yeah, that's the threat. You can't do anything to stop it. So
Yeah.
it can be like that. Yeah.
I suppose the person is so wrapped up in the need to control what's happening, and that includes controlling how other people react to you. So
thinking you can control it, believing you can't, of course. No one can, but it seems like that you can do that. It's busy with that all day in a way, or maybe not in the head, but some patterns can be going like that, because it seems so important to control. And when sometimes it seems like it's work, so we think like, oh, it's not in the mind, but it seems like it's work, and then it's go on, but it's just energetic. It's not you doing that.
and would you say,
sorry,
I don't know if you can comment on this, but maybe you can. When there's a sense of a person trying to control things, would you say that uses up a lot of energy?
yeah, yeah, I think so. But
And then
that's just what's happening. It isn't, because then what me thinks, oh, that's so much energy, that's not needed, so maybe it's better to not have a me, things like that. That's the new story. That's the new story. It is, but then there's a lot of energy. They can be using a lot of it or something like that. It's just a story. Can be also a lot of watching television during the whole day. It's the same story. It's a different story. But so what?
oh right, so the story of the me is wasting energy trying to control things is a waste of energy. I could use that to do more productive things if I wasn't trying to control. But
Yeah.
ultimately,
Yeah.
the energy just
That's
goes
why we
over.
want to understand that you think, oh, it's a waste of time, or it's a waste of energy. Oh, what can I do to do it? Yeah, of course. It's just then, it's the same as drinking coffee. It doesn't matter. But we think, this is better than that. Wasting energy, it sounds not good. Drinking coffee, just not thinking, that sounds good, so that's better, something like that. That's the story. That's how me behaves or thinks or does all the time. Because it's always thinking in two, like in doing, like, oh, I have to do, this is better and this is not better, and how to do, and that whole story. It seems to be so important, but good and bad in way, in simple terms.
Yeah.
And when it hears there's no good and bad, oh, that's too confronting. So it makes it like, oh, no good and bad, but there can be change or something like that. So we make it less threatening, but it's the same story, of course.
Yeah. Thanks, Rose.
Yeah, thanks.
Anita, please go ahead.
Yeah, I think I already know the answer.
You don't know? No,
Yes, I know already the answer. Yes.
Okay, next one.
Yeah, it's about it. Yeah. Yeah. But maybe you can say something about it. I don't know. So this energy can take it over. You can say that.
No, I don't say that. It's already, that's the only thing there is. There is no me, there's nothing to take over. It's just what's happening already. So it's just energetic. Everything is just energetic, you could say.
But sometimes you can feel there is no me.
No, it's not a feeling. There's no me, or being clear. It's not that. It's, how can I say it? It's just nothing is going on, or if there's a me or no me. No, mate, that's also not. You can't. I don't know how to say it. You can't say, oh, this is how it is. I can't say that. There's no image, no. It's just obvious. That I can only say that, but it's not how I know it or how I don't know. That's awful, because me wants to feel or know or being sure, something like that. It's not like that.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I come back. Sometimes I have to do something with my breath because my breath is in a way a little bit stuck.
Oh,
that's what's happening. But
it's awful.
Yes.
We don't want to hear that all the time. That's just boring. Just what can we do with that? How can we manage? Yeah, I know that's always the question. It's just maybe there's feeling short of breath or cramps or doing something with it. Maybe, I don't know. Just what's already happening. So there's nothing to say about how to do it. How can I say how to do it? It's strange. It's just what's happening there. That's it already. So it sounds like, oh, I should know how you can live. That's awful. It's just already what's happening. So maybe there are a lot of thoughts, or maybe there's short of breath, or a reaction, or asking a question about it. That's it. That's perfect. There's nothing not perfect. That's crazy, because we're so convinced there's a need to do something with it, or to change, or to da da da. And hearing that what's happening, it's already it. There cannot be something wrong. It's just life in the Anita way, something like that. Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Last question here before we go on a break. Can you ask Rose if anxiety still arises for her?
Anxiety. What is the anxiety?
When you're anxious, when you're stressed about something that's, future wise.
Boosheid.
Boosheid. Oh. It can be anger, more like anxiety. Anxiety is when you are stressed to someone. What is anxiety that you're?
Yeah.
Sorry,
Yeah.
then explain it, what the word, because I don't know so much the word.
Like stressed about something that has not happened yet. Like you're
Ah.
anxious about tomorrow or meeting someone or the unknown, basically.
There can be a feeling like that, and it's always related to some event, and that's very obvious. It's just that feeling can be there, and it's maybe there's a thought about that's because of that, but then it's gone, and it's just that feeling can be there. It can be any feeling. Sometimes you don't even know what feelings it is, and there's a stress about meeting someone, and then whoa, there's something going on like that. We are always relating it to that event or to that person or to that what's happening. There can be a feeling, but it's just that feeling, and that's when that's happening. Then that's happening. There's nothing done with that, or no. Something like that. So anything, any feeling can happen. There can be a lot of different feelings. A lot of times I even don't know what feeling it is. It can be a sensation somewhere. There's no name for it. Maybe it's not that I am trying, not that there's no trying anymore. Maybe there is. No, a lot of times there's just feelings. I don't even know why they are there. I don't know what it is, but it's just can be a feeling. And it can be feelings, maybe anxiety, or maybe like, oh, no, not really nice, but yeah, and then after a while it's gone. Yeah, can be there. It's very normal. The only thing there is no relation between anything. And it's not said, oh, there's just feeling and it's not related to that. That's not happening, because then there's explaining about why it's like that, and it's like to make it more that you feel more comfortable with it. It can be very uncomfortable. Yeah, it can be. Then that's it. There's nothing going on. So that seems to be nice when there are good feelings. There's just like, oh, there's just that. But when there are feelings like, there's also no escape. There's nothing going on like trying to change it or ideas how to deal with it or things like that. They're not coming. So you sit with, no, not you sit with that, but it's just there. So no escape. That's the other side of there's no one. And then we think, oh, I want that because that's always freedom and whoa, there's nothing going on. And also there's no escape. There's just what is. And there can be in the story that for half an afternoon or something, there can be some or stressy like that, or very normal. Very normal. Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Rose. We're going to take an hour break. If you guys want to stay, we're going to go to the breakout room in a minute, and we'll be back in an hour. Thank you, Rose.
Okay, thank you.